Morning, guys. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a bit of a warm-up, a nice dynamic warm-up to get our heart rates up and get our bodies ready for this session. And we're going to use a format today known as EMOM. So we're going to perform an exercise every minute on the minute and then rest for the remainder of the minute, depending on how long the exercise takes us. We've only got 3 different movements to focus on today. One lower body, one full body, but with an upper body focus, and then a core exercise as well. So even though we've only got a minute to complete the work and get our rest in, you can pick and choose the number of reps that you're going to do to suit the load that you've got, okay? So you're either going to end up doing 6 reps, 8 reps, or 10 reps. And I want you to try and bite the bullet with sticking with that number of repetitions, okay, in that time frame. And obviously, if you're going to repeat this workout again, you can choose to do more. Or if you're sticking with a certain number of reps and you think you've gone too conservative, but you've got a heavier weight to use, you can switch the weight over. Okay, cool. All right, with no further ado, let's have our warm-up. So get up on your feet. And we're just going to start with a couple of body weight kind of movements with a little bit of skipping and that kind of stuff to just get our heart rate up. Okay, so what we're going to start with is just a regular old kind of crossover. So we're going to do a standing knee to elbow for 10 reps. Okay, that standing knee to elbow, we're just going to work to here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we're going to work into a little side split, little hop and step. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to come back to the front and we're just going to hit a nice steady jump jacks. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good stuff. We're going to hit that again. We're ready, so start with the crossovers, away we go. So with that crossover, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We then go into our little split jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then into our jump jacks. 1, 2, nice big arm movement, getting the feet and the hands to move at the same time. 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Catch your breath. We're now going to get a bit of activation and mobility in. So we're going to start with a reverse lunge. So that reverse lunge, I'm just going to step backwards, drop my back knee to the floor, and reach up overhead and come back up. Down and up. So you notice I'm not sitting on my back leg. I'm dropping my back knee down to the floor and then coming back up. We're going 5 on one side and then 5 on the other. I'll do these facing forwards. So you want that back knee going down towards the floor, reaching tall for 5 reps. 1 more. Good, we want good quality through the warm-ups. And then we're going to come down onto our hands and knees. Down onto our hands and knees. So we're in a nice tabletop position here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one foot directly perpendicular to my body. Okay, so if I'm in that tabletop position, I've now stepped one foot out directly to the side. And what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to rock forwards, load the arms, sit my hips back towards my heel. I should feel a stretch up through the inside of the thigh, through my adductor. And we want 5 good reps of sawing the body back and forth. And then once I've done that on one side, I'll step out on the other and sit back and come forwards. And you might get a stretch in both ways. I definitely feel more of a hamstring adductor stretch here. And as I come forward, I get a stretch into a different part of my adductor. Depends what your hip mobility is like. Just rocking back and forth. Good. Excellent. Come back into that all four position, and what we're going to do from here is fingertip to temple. I'm going to point my elbow right underneath the body, and then I'm going to turn and open my chest as much as I can, turning and pointing that elbow to the ceiling. Get 5 reps there. And what you can do with a supporting hand, if you want to get a bit more work through your thoracic spine, is just slide the hand forward slightly. 5 good reps. Switch the hands over. So front arm in this position here. And point right on this and try to turn my torso, get my chest pointed underneath my body. And then when I turn here, I'm trying to separate my shoulders and open the chest. Beautiful. We're just going to finish off with a few press-ups. So we're going to hit our press-up position. Okay, that can be a full press-up, or it can be down on the knees, it doesn't matter which. And from that position, what we're going to do is do 1 press-up with a big torso rotation at the top. We're going to do 2 on one side, come down, and then 2 on the other. Down to the floor, up onto our feet, and we're just going to finish with 5 full squats into a little jump, okay? So assume your squat position, which is normally going to be outside of the shoulder, somewhere level with the inside of the foot, so we don't want to be too narrow or too wide. You want to be in a nice stable position. I want you to squat down through your squat, and then jump and land, and then we go again. So from that side on position, I come down, I load with my arms, and then I jump and land. 2 more. And that's our warm-up complete. Good stuff. Grab a little drink, and I'll explain what we're going to do before we start. So the weight you've got for today, exercise number 1, we're going to hold the weight in the goblet position. So whether it's a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you're going to hold it up in this position here. And what we're going to do with the weight there is a squat into a reverse lunge. So we'll squat, stand, reverse lunge, squat, reverse lunge. And you're going to get 10 squats or 8 squats. Okay, or 6 squats, which means either 5 lunges on each side, 4 lunges on each side, or 3 lunges on each side. Okay, we rest then for the remainder of the minute. I've timed it. You can get 10 reps done in 30 to 40 seconds. You've got enough rest time to stick with 10 reps today. Okay, we then rest for the remainder of the minute. We then have the kettlebell or the dumbbell on the floor. And what we're going to do here is, I'm going to step back a little bit so I can stay in frame and not hit my light. It's from the floor with the weight in between our feet. We're going to squat down so that I'm in a good strong position here to pick it up. I'm going to bring it to my shoulder and press, come down, light touch on the floor and press. Now obviously if I've got a kettlebell, I'm going to flick it onto the outside of my arm here and then press. Once I've finished my 3, 4 or 5 reps, I change side and press here. If the shoulders start to fatigue, when you get it to here, small dip and then press. So you get a little bit of extra leg work. Okay? Making sure that as you're pressing overhead, we're not leaning back, okay, or allowing the rib cage to flare. So we're keeping good control of the pelvis and our rib cage. And again, you're going to do 3 reps on each side, 4 reps on each side, or 5 reps on each side. And then to finish off, exercise number 3, we'll be sitting on the floor with the weight out in front, and I'm going to be sitting straight on
to it to begin with, and then dropping my feet down on one side. Fingertip support behind, and then from this position, I'm going to lift up and over for 1 rep. So over and back is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 8, or 10. Okay, and those are our 3 exercises. And we're going to loop those for the 8 rounds. And all we're going to have is the rest time that we have from doing the movement. Okay, so 24 minutes of solid work from now. Okay? Okay, we start in 15 seconds. A bit of advice: if you've got a water bottle, keep the top off because you're going to need to have a drink throughout and possibly not have a great deal of time. Okay, we are starting with the goblet squat. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, away we go. We squat, then we step back into that lunge. Making sure that with the lunge, everything's nicely lined up. Standing tall on every rep. Dropping that back knee to the floor on the lunge, same as we did in the warm-up. Once you've got your 10 reps, you can rest. I got that in about 30 seconds. And remember that this first round, you're going to think, actually, everything feels okay. The accumulative fatigue in this builds quite quickly, especially in the lungs, believe it or not. Okay, into our clean to press, making sure the dumbbells between our feet, or the kettlebells between our feet, ready to go. 3, 2, 1, we drive to the shoulder and we press. Control down with a light touch on the floor, making sure that our lower back stays nice and flat throughout. And then when we're ready, we can switch. Making sure that if I am using the legs on the press, I'm using them as little as possible so the shoulder gets a good amount of work. Excellent. There's my 5 on each side. That took me a little bit longer because I had to pause and explain a little bit. And then we're getting ready for our leg raises. Down to the floor then. 3, 2, 1, away we go. 1, and there's 2 for me. Stay nice and tight through the core so I'm not leaning too far back. Trying to keep my torso nice and still all the time, and I'm just wiping, windscreen, wiping my legs back and forth. Good stuff. And breathe, this one, I'm done. Back to the goblet squat. Doing with that squat, we're only going to squat to wherever your comfortable depth is. If that's here for now, that's fine. If you've got a full range squat without the lower back rounding, that's where you're going to try and go to, 15 seconds away. We go in 10. At the 5-second mark, you're going to bring the weight up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squat first, then lunge. Remember, it's the squats that we're counting. Nice. Good job. So again, it's the quality of the movement that we're aiming for. If you're using a dumbbell, it needs to be flat now for the press. And we're 15 seconds away. Remember with this, we're going to get all the work done on one side. So we're not having to transition the weight every rep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Use the legs to squat down. Lower to the floor under control. You can use the legs to push the floor away to bring it to your shoulder. Beautiful. When we've done our 5, we can switch it, light touch on the floor, and go again. And bring it down under control. You can bring it down with 2 if that's safer. Good stuff. Rest and breathe. Breathe and rest. Don't just breathe in your rest, of course, breathe all the way through. 15 seconds. We come down to the floor, getting ready for our leg raises. As long as the legs we can manage. If your hamstrings are a little bit tight, you can bend the knees. 3, 2, 1. So you want to be face on to that all the time. Getting high up and over. Don't kick it over. Good. Breathe in all the time. Keeping that rib cage fixed and pinned down. Good work. 2 rounds then. Our second round definitely felt a little bit different to the first. That's to be expected. Lots of time on the rest though. Just remembering that our core's going to take a bit of a beating today from that goblet hold position. 10 seconds. And then from all the rotation and the stabilization and the clean and press, and then the core exercise. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Away we go. Keeping that torso upright all the time. Making sure that we step back into a good squat position and not too narrow. So that my posture's not changing throughout the movement. When we finish, we safely lower down. Good stuff, 25 seconds. Great work. 15 seconds into our clean and press. Remember to be as strict as we can on the press right now, and saving the legs when it's absolutely necessary. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I get into a good squat position and press. Remember that we don't want to be snatching it and throwing it over in one movement. We want you to stop the shoulder, then press. Stop it dead at the shoulder or on the outside of the arm, and then press. Just so we don't have momentum throwing it through. Get a dead stop pause at the top of the clean, and then press. Your non-working arm is there to help you balance and stay supported, and that lockout position overhead, we're not leaning back on it. Good job. Great work. Ten seconds. So remember, you're sitting face on to this now, okay? 3, 2, 1, away we go. Big rainbow with the feet. Light touch on the floor, don't let the tension go. So I'm keeping my torso nice and still, facing forwards, and I'm asking the lower half of my pelvis and my feet to do the rotation to make sure that I'm getting good use of my obliques. Uppers as a stabilizer, lowers as a more of a mobilizer. Less than 20 seconds before we're back to our squats. This is round number 4, so it'll take us halfway. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Pick that weight up and we squat, reverse lunge. Remember, we're counting the squats. 3. Good. Excellent work. Legs are definitely warming up now. Good stuff. Our clean and press is coming next. In the rest time, really focus on getting control of your breathing. 15 seconds. And we're on to our clean and press. 5. Assume a good position. 3, 2, 1. We squat down, bring it to the shoulder, and press. Trying to kill the momentum before we press, making it a little more demanding for the shoulders. Making sure that my posture is good and strong in that overhead position. Change the weight over, light touch on the floor. Controlling my breathing all the time. Nice. Just about to finish round 4. Ten seconds, we should be sitting down. Or you can have the dumbbell, using the dumbbell, standing up to create a bit more demand, okay? 3, 2, 1, away we go. Torso facing forwards. Good. Remember, over and back is 1 rep. Excellent. Trying to minimize the body movement forwards and backwards and side to side with that. Good stuff. We've got 30 seconds before we start round 5. Awesome stuff. So the movement quality shouldn't change, guys, okay? It's definitely getting more demanding. 10 seconds. And we're into our squats and reverse lunge. 3, 2, 1. Pick that weight up and I squat, reverse lunge. Notice my back knee drops towards the floor, and when I step back up, I'm stepping into my squat position. Keeping the weight over my front leg on that lunge. Beautiful. Legs are nice and warm now. Clean and press coming next. Let's just keep control of the quality of that movement, guys, okay? 15 seconds. Remember, if you've underestimated and think you've got a bit more in the tank, stick with the same reps. Use a heavier load if you've got one at home. If you haven't, then you can change the reps. 3, 2, 1. Bring it to the shoulder and press. Making sure that we kill the movement at the shoulder after the clean. And making sure that when we come down to the floor, we're dropping the knee and the hips. So we go on hips high, drop down every rep so that we put more demand on the legs. Beautiful. Good job. Okay, time for our leg raises. 15 seconds to go. Great stuff. Here it comes. 3, 2, 1, away we go. So I'm using my hands as little as possible. They're just there to stabilize. If you need them in a different position, move it around so you can maintain the quality of just thinking about moving from the hips down and not turning our torso too much as we go. Making the lever as challenging as possible in terms of length. If you need to sit a bit closer because you need a knee bend, that's also fine. Good stuff. That's 5 rounds done. 3 to go. Ready? 5. Squat and lunge. Lunge and squat and lunge. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Pick the weight up. Full range squat. Stand into my reverse lunge. Making sure I've got good quality in that movement, and when I drop down here, that weight's still over the front leg, so it looks the same as when I'm in that squat. Good job. Clean and press, come in next. In 20 seconds time. Control my breathing. Ten seconds. Don't rush these. Remember to separate the clean and the press. Put more demand through the shoulders. We go in 3, 2, 1. Squat down. Pick it up and press. Remember, if that weight's feeling heavy now, you can bend the knees into that press. But again, stop, dip, push. When we're done, we change sides. Squat down, making sure my back stays nice and flat. Pull it to the shoulder and press. Making sure I drop my hips towards the floor here to maintain a good flat back. So I'm not rounded or my hips are too high. Excellent stuff. Closing off round 6 now. 15 seconds. Down to the floor for our leg raises. Torso facing straight. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. Light touch on the floor. Good. Over and back is 1 rep. Keep the core nice and tight. Don't lean back so that the rib cage opens. Rest when you're done. Your number of reps. Guys, 2 rounds to go. We're almost done. 6 minutes of work. And then we get to cool down. 20 seconds. Apologies for the heavy breathing. I'm definitely sweating a bit now. Okay. Squat to reverse lunge. Here it comes. 5, 2, 1. Away we go. Pick the weight up. Full range squat into my reverse lunge. Remember, we're counting the squats. Good. Making sure that as I lunge, my toe, my knee, my hip all point in the same direction. We don't want to collapse in on either the squat or the lunge. Beautiful job, well done. Clean and press, come in next. Remembering to squat to get the weight to touch the floor. 10 seconds. Quality movement through these final rounds, guys. 3, 2, 1. Away we go. ensuring that I'm making the press as challenging as possible by pausing. Good, and then we change. 5 reps on the other side. Good, almost there. Excellent. This is the penultimate round. We're through the 20-minute mark now. 10 seconds before we do our leg raises. So I start with my torso straight on, feet straight on. And we start just to one side. 3, 2, 1, away we go. Over and back is 1, and 2, 3. Trying to kill the body English, so I'm not soaring backwards and forwards as I pick my feet over. Trying to stay as compressed as possible. If you're starting to feel it down through your hip flexors into your quads, that's completely normal as well, okay? Here we go. Final round coming up in just under 30 seconds. Maintain the reps, maintain the movement quality. 3 minutes of graft left, guys. 15 seconds out. Less than 10 now. 5, 3, 2, 1. You can start the last round, pick that weight up, full squat, reverse lunge, get your 10 reps in. Using all of the foot when you're dropping into the squat and the lunge so that your heels don't come off the floor, but we're using all of the foot, including the ball of the foot and the big toe. Good. Almost there. Beautiful. Remember to drop that back knee on the lunge. 20 seconds before our final set of clean and press. 10 seconds. Good stuff, here it comes. 3, 2, 1, away we go. Squat down, weight to shoulder, and press. Core tight on that press, so we don't lean back. Use the legs if you need to. Drop the hips, so the back stays flat. We don't want to round here. We drop, keeping the chest up all the time. Excellent stuff. Getting my dumbbell set for my final set of leg raises. "15 seconds. My heart rate's definitely spiked these last 2 rounds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Away we go. Good, over and back is 1 rep. And when we're done, we are done. Excellent stuff. When you're finished, just move your dumbbell or kettlebell out of the workout area so that you can cool down effectively. Well played. Cheers, Jace. I don't know when you left us, but I know you had to go to work this morning. Working at the factory as opposed to working from home. Good job, guys. Just find a seat somewhere. Try and consciously get hold of your breathing rate. Try to make it nasal if you can. Definitely an in-breath through the nose. But if you can breathe out through the nose as well, those things are really going to help to bring your heart rate back down a little bit quicker. Really good stuff, guys. Really good stuff. So you can do this exercise either in a seated position or either cross-legged, or you can do it in a kneeling position, okay? And we're just going to open up the shoulders and the chest a little bit. And how we're going to do that is, you're going to sit up nice and tall, okay? I want you to interlace the fingers, bring them up on the back of the head. And from that position, I want you to make your double chin, so actively push your head back into your hands, not your hands into your head. And as you make that double chin, it's not about dropping your chin to your chest, it's about pushing it back in towards your spine, okay? And just actively push in, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you should feel something going on here and also perhaps in between your shoulder blades as well. Take a little rest. We're going to do something similar now, where we're going to interlock the fingers, still apply that same pressure, but now I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades and open the hands out and hold that for 10. So I'm pushing back in and I'm flaring my elbows as much as possible. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I want to make sure I'm doing that without feel like I'm pressing and reaching by opening the rib cage. So that rib cage and my abs need to stay tight, keeping my sternum down a little bit as we do that, okay? And we got one more element we're going to add to that now. Okay, and how we're going to do that is we're going to interlock the fingers, I'm going to press the head in, I'm going to flare my elbows, hold all those positions with my chin tucked back, and lift my hands off the back of my head. Okay, and once we're in that position, we're going to hold it for 10 seconds. So interlock the fingers, hands up on the back of the head, press the head in gently, tuck in the chin, make yourself a double chin, flare the elbows out wide, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then we lift the hands away just as much as we can without our elbows coming forwards, and hold without the chin going forwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. And that is what we call an active stretch. So we're using the muscles on the back of the body to open up the structures on the front, okay? And that's really useful as opposed to just doing what we call a passive stretch, because we're gaining more active range of the joint as opposed to letting gravity and our body weight force us into those positions, okay? So it's more demanding, okay, because you're having to work hard to do it, but it's a bit more functional, if you want to use the word functional. Good. All right. We get to lie down now. All right, in that lying down position, what I want you to do is bring both knees up a little bit so that we can put the soles of our feet on the floor. And what we're going to do from here is bring one leg up into a figure 4 cross position. And then we're going to lift the bottom foot off the floor. And now you've got a couple of choices. You can either thread your hands through that gap to draw both knees in towards your chest, or you can just grab the knee and the foot on that working side and draw the shin up towards your chest. And you should feel the stretch coming in through the glute. What I want you to do then is just roll and rock on that so you get more of a stretch and less of a stretch. Your tailbone might come off the floor. That's fine, that's great. That's going to help open up our lower backs a little bit. Awesome. And then we're going to return to the floor, but we're going to keep the foot in that position. If anything, we're going to let it slide over a little bit more, and then that supporting foot, and we're going to draw it down using the weight of that top leg to draw the inside of my other knee down towards the floor. And now you might feel it up on the outside of that knee that's moving towards the floor. You might get something up through your lower back. Just relax. Don't force it down, just let the gravity and the weight of the leg do the work here. And this is a passive stretch. We're using other structures to create the stretch for us, and gravity, of course. Slowly, slowly come back to the center, and then we're going to repeat that on the other side, okay? So in that figure of 4, your normal cross leg position, Then we want to pick up either through the gap in the figure of four or by the foot and the ankle and draw in towards the chest. I'm going to rock back and forth on that for 5 to 10 reps. You can get a different kind of stretch into the hip by applying a little bit of pressure to the inside of the knee if you wanted to. Depends on how everything feels. Again, you just want that gentle stretch coming in through the hip. But for some people, down here is just enough, and you might only have to do a much smaller movement, okay? Good, return that supporting foot to the floor. Let the top leg slide over a little bit further. So you've almost got one knee on top of the other. And then we draw that foot that's on the floor, that knee, we draw it down towards the floor. And I'm just holding that position. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just allowing the weight of my top leg to create that stretch through perhaps my lower back on that side and down through the outside of the hip on that side. Good job. Nice and slowly come back to the center. And we are done.